Hi, I'm Brian Govberg and welcome to 10 and 10. Today we're going to be talking about one of the most storied brands in watchmaking and one of my personal favorites, Patek Philippe. This is going to be a two-part series with the first 5 watches being presented to you today. Our first watch is the reference 5565 Calatrava Geneva Boutique Rue de Rhone, a limited edition launched in 2006 to commemorate the reopening of Patek Philippe's boutique on that street, Rue de Rhone in Geneva. The stainless steel case was influenced by the vintage reference 565, yet its overall aesthetic is distinctly modern. The case back displays a special engraving, Patek Philippe Geneva, 1839 to 1892 to 2006, representing 3 significant dates in the history of Patek Philippe. The 5565 was launched in 300 pieces and was launched alongside reference 5105, another limited edition. Of particular importance is that stainless steel is reserved only for the most special of non-sport watches, which is why I chose this watch for 10 and 10, and which is why I believe that this watch is a great addition to any Patek Philippe collection. For our second watch, we have the Patek Philippe 5970, a perpetual calendar chronograph. Launched in 2004 and production ending in 2011, the 5970 had the shortest production run for a serially produced Patek Perpetual Calendar Chronograph. The 5970 is powered by the Lemania 2310 base caliber CH27-70Q. Now to the specs. The watch measures 40 millimeter in diameter. The 5970 features square pushers, recalling the design of the 2499 First Series. The day and month are indicated by apertures. The date and moon phase are presented at 6 o'clock. The leap year is indicated within the chronograph subdial at 3 o'clock, and there's a 24-hour scale within the chronograph subdial at 9 o'clock to indicate day and night. The watch was produced in 4 metals: rose gold, yellow gold, white gold, and platinum. In the platinum version, a marker for 120 km appears on the tachymeter scale, whereas the word Swiss is in that position on all of the other versions. Perhaps the most renowned 5970 was that which belonged to Eric Clapton, the 5970/1G, featuring Breguet numerals and a white gold brick bracelet. This piece sold at Sotheby's in 2018. What makes the reference 5970 so important is that it's regarded as one of the finest modern Patek Philippe's that's ever been made. It's also one of the rarest, and it happens to be a particular grail of mine to have one day. The next piece that I have selected is the Patek Philippe Aquanaut Travel Time reference 5164A. Launched in 2011, the 5164A represented the first time that a complication was introduced to the Aquanaut family, with a second time zone presented by way of a hollow hour hand and 2 apertures at 3 and 9 o'clock to indicate local or home time, with day-night apertures, white meaning day and dark blue meaning night. When not traveling, the second time zone hand sits beneath the main hour hand. This is among the easiest dual time zone watches to use, with pushers on the left side of the case to advance in 1-hour steps. I own this watch personally. The reason being is that I'm not the biggest fan of GMT hands, and the fact that this hollow hour hand sits behind the main hand to me is just awesome and makes the watch incredibly legible. For our next watch, we have the Patek Philippe 5235G, an annual calendar with Regulator Style Display. Introduced in 2011 in white gold and then replaced in the current catalog by the rose gold model in 2019. The watch featured a brand new automatic ultra-thin movement, which was designed specifically for this watch. The dial displays an hour subdial at 12 o'clock, a minute hand on the central pinion, and subsidiary running second hands with date aperture at 6 o'clock. The day and the month are presented in asymmetric apertures at the top of the dial. The Patek logo on the dial is also something unique and novel. It is deeply engraved and unfilled with lacquer, which means it nearly disappears against the vertically brushed dial at certain angles. The watch has a unique pin buckle only found on this model, and according to an article on SJX, Thierry Stern has indicated that this is one of his favorite models that has ever been produced. And the last watch that we're going to talk about today is the Nautilus Perpetual Calendar in white gold, the 5740/1G. Introduced in 2018, this is the first grand complication in the Nautilus collection. Powered by the caliber 240Q, which is wound via a recessed micro rotor, 3 subdials have been added in order to indicate the moon phases, day, date, month, leap year, and whether it is day or night. The moon phase display is ultra precise, deviating from the actual position of the moon by only 1 day every 122 years. In comparison to the case size of other Nautilus models, the 5740 measures slightly thicker than both the 5711 and 5712, and has a power reserve of 38 hours. The 5740, as it's produced entirely in white gold, is far more hefty on the wrist than its stainless steel brethren, with a much more solid feel. The white gold has rich, warm tones, making it the best Nautilus on a bracelet. Thank you for watching 10 and 10 on Patek Philippe. I hope you enjoyed the show, and stay tuned for the next 5 watches.